All right, again, a hearty welcome to you. And so glad you're taking the time to join us today. We are gonna start with a video. Now, this video was pre-coronavirus, and so you will see a lot of people not social distancing, but we thought that there were some amazing tips and advice to students. So I really want you to take some time to watch it. And so we'll start the video now.
Everyone has a place on campus. There's a thing for someone to do, whether it is student involvement, whether it is sport, whether it is your professional development. The U has that capability. They have the resources. They have the space to make it happen.
The first event I actually attended was the cross-cultural leadership retreat. So as soon as you attend an event and you really like it, and at that point you just feel like, hey, I could totally do this. Like
I didn't know that we have table tennis club here, but I checked the website and I found it on Facebook. So I went there and I registered as a varsity team. Yeah.
Getting involved into student group is the first step. That was my first step, and that really helped me just know a lot of people and really be comfortable as quickly as possible, because I knew that I had people behind me. I knew that I had a team that I was working in.
Usually all these events are focused on international culture. They usually are centered around students having fun, eating something and talking to each other. And then, well, after you join like one event, it's easier to, get the second one and the third one and the fourth one, and just you keep going, and you just don't want to stop. I enjoy it a lot.
I love going to Northrop. I think it's one of the prettiest buildings on campus. The gym is actually another place where a lot of people go there. I think for every student in the different colleges, they have their specific areas that they like to study. The libraries are a place where people also go a lot. Obviously, we're here to study, and it's what brought us here. So I really like Kaufman. I think a lot of the multicultural students meet in Kaufman to just meet up, discuss things that are going on back at home, and as well as to have meetings and any student group events that are going on. You are always assured to have something going on in Kaufman from Monday to Saturday, and there will always be free food. Really like Kaufman.
Don't be afraid if you hesitate to speak up or to get involved in the community. Every student will welcome you.
Obviously, as all international students, you're a bit scared at first. You don't speak, you think your English is not good enough, but mostly it is. It's good enough. Basically, everyone there is as scared as you are, and they're also looking to make friends as much as you want.
Come to the U with an open mind. That would definitely help you just take any advantage and any opportunity that comes your way.
Go there and go for it. You take a small step and eventually everything just keeps going.
All right, well, thank you so much. Hopefully, this gave you a few lessons around involvement and knowing and normalizing that in the beginning, when you are thinking about getting involved on campus, there's a little bit of fear, there's a little bit of tendency to think, oh, maybe I shouldn't be involved. And so today we want to normalize that. We want to help you kind of understand that everybody, when you are trying something new, that this is a normal reaction, and that those who overcome that reaction actually end up having an amazing, amazing time. So we wanted to do a short poll to see who is in the room what are your couple of leadership questions? So Jenny, we can launch the poll now. So I'm gonna give you a couple of, about 10 seconds to answer the questions for about. Okay. All right, wow. We'll see which college is gonna win. Okay. All right. Okay. Wow, that's an, we're gonna quickly now show the results. So what college do you represent today? College of Science and Engineering is #1. Wow, that's a really good result. Unexpected. We always think CLA, College of Liberal Arts, will take the prize. So CFANS, biological sciences in the room. So just know that you have your people here. The next question, can we share the next question? Okay. I think we might be having some technical issues with our poll, but that's okay. We can stop share results. And just to let you know that when you're thinking about leadership, the 2 questions we had for you is, what are the things that you want to learn? And the choices we had were, networking, public speaking, writing, all of these skills that you may not learn in the classroom, you actually are able to learn in student group organizing and other leadership opportunities on campus. So that was one question. And then really, what are the talents you bring to a student group or leadership opportunity? And that could range from anywhere. I myself have brought a number of talents, such as, being a visual artist, being a good cook. All of those things matter, including the other opportunities, other talents that people may have that they can bring to a student group. So we'll go to the next slide, please. All right, so brief welcome to you. Again, my name is Kabir Mohammed. I go by he, him, his gender pronouns, and this is something that I want everyone, as you are entering the US, this is something that we do on campus specifically. And if you want to take the opportunity to rename your Zoom name, so it's, I think, on your right-hand side, so right over there, up top, there are 3 dots. You can rename, put your name if there is, if your email address is showing up. We'd really like to have your name. And you can always put gender pronouns. Now, there are 3 gender pronouns that are more commonly used. She, her, hers, he, him, his, they, them, theirs. I'm speaking that very quickly. And so they, them, theirs are usually people who do not identify with either gender, okay? So I know it gets complicated, but hopefully with time, you're gonna get used to introducing yourself like I did, and many of the leaders and staff will introduce themselves as well. Next slide, please. So now I have the great pleasure to introduce Beth Eisenstein. At ISSS, we really value your presence and your development. So one of the things that we do as a team is really develop you as an international student leader on campus. And I know Beth is the Assistant Director for Student Engagement and Intercultural Initiatives, and she helps design, vision, what that experience is going to look like. And she wants to give you a little bit of her story and advice.
Greetings, everyone, from Minneapolis, and congratulations on becoming a part of the University of Minnesota community. As Kabir said, my name is Beth Eisenstein, and I'm an assistant director at ISSS. I use the gender pronouns of she, her, hers, and I do have the pleasure of leading our international student engagement and intercultural initiatives team. Your academic scholarship is extremely important, and leadership is how you learn to apply both your academic scholarship and other critical skills that will be required for you in your future work. Yes, employers will look at your leadership experience on your resume when they're interviewing you. And maybe in 2 years, you can actually come and join this event for new students and share your own leadership journey. Share what happened in the last couple of years for you and how you got engaged. I will tell you that my leadership experience literally changed my life. I volunteered with an organization called the University Leadership Development Program for 2 years in the Slovak Republic. We were a small, but we were a mighty team, and we were volunteers from around the world. Over months of conversation, I learned that we had all had different thoughts about what made a good leader and what people should expect from a leader. And I was amazed, like, how could we have such different thoughts? How were we going to work together when we had such different approaches to what a leader should be? Was one way of leading better than another way of leading? So those were some of the questions that I continually struggled with. I did make really strong friendships through all of our discussion, and did have amazing program as a result of all of our discussions. And I still have these friendships over 20 years later. And yes, when we talk, we still talk about leadership. I learned a lot about leadership through my volunteering, and I did want to learn more. And it led me, in fact, to get my master's degree. And within that field, and now it is my full-time job. So my experience in volunteering and being part of a group, it changed my life, and I know that it will change yours as well. Thank you for being here today, and I'll turn it back to Kabir.
Thank you, Beth. And as Beth said, that leadership is both. It encompasses not just skills, but making lifelong friends. And we know, and we have seen people still be connected post-graduation to us and to their friends. So that's a really good piece of advice of why you should get involved. So today's agenda is really, we're going to talk about leadership. We want to introduce you to a particular program called the Culture Core program, which Marina will talk about a little bit later. And then the International Buddy program as well. And we're going to have a breakout room. Like I said in the beginning, if you're feeling tentative, this is a great opportunity to connect with students, just be able to share. What are you nervous about? What are you excited about? What do you think, when you think about leadership, what kinds of things you want to be involved in? And people are going to help you figure some of those things out and connect you to different opportunities. And then we have a little bit of homework for you. It's not graded, but it will help you kind of really think about your future self. So now I have the great pleasure to introduce Marina, who is, I always call her the right hand and the left hand of student engagement and intercultural initiatives, which means that she supports and leads in amazing ways. And please get to know her and please feel free to be involved in the program. So on to you, Marina.
Thank you, Kabir, and thank you for the kind introduction. If you attended kickoff event, great, but otherwise I'm going to introduce myself again. My name is Marina Uejara, and I use she, her, hers gender pronouns. And I'm the education program specialist here with the International Student and Scholar Services. And just like yourselves, I used to be an international student from Argentina. I actually did my master's here at the University of Minnesota in the College of Education and Human Development. So go CHD. So a few things about, if you actually go on our ISSS website and look up Cultural Core program, you will find out a lot of information, and a lot of it might sound a little bit vague. But I wanted to introduce Cultural Core in particularly today because of 4 specific things that are related to leadership. And so along myself and our student leaders and our student peers, there are 4 different areas in which we touch and we cover leadership in the Cultural Core program. The first one is that when you meet with me, you will receive individual coaching for your leadership development. That means that I'm going to sit down with you virtually over Zoom, do an intake with you, and ask you what are the goals that you wish or that you want to accomplish by the time you graduate. I actually had a student that told me, I want to become president when I graduate. And although I can't ensure that you'll become president of your home country, what I can do with you is break down those progress and identify the skills that you need in order for that leadership that you want to do by the time you graduate. And so one of the things we identified was public speaking. In order to be a leader, you have to be very comfortable with that. Do you have public speaking skills? Do you not have those skills? So then the next step is to identify or develop individual projects in which you can put into practice those skills or be assigned to an existing one at the University of Minnesota. The third part is we do a career integration piece with Culture Core, meaning I will sit down with you, again, virtually over Zoom, and give you advice on how to best write these projects on your resume. Part of it is trying to figure out how to best compete with other US students in the job market or in other leadership positions that you're applying for. And then lastly, and I think which is the most important part of Cultural Core, is that it allows you to receive peer-to-peer mentoring or staff mentoring depending on the projects you're involved in. And I truly believe that peer mentoring is going to be one of the most successful skills that you'll receive and that hopefully you'll learn so that you can become a really good leader on campus. It also allows you to network with a lot of people, which is one of the key areas of success here at the University of Minnesota. Talking about peer-to-peer mentoring, I do want to pass it on to my staff colleagues, Chirayu and Hussein, who will introduce who will talk a little bit about their roles with the International Buddy Program. So to you, Chirayu.
Great, thanks, Marina. Welcome, everybody. It's great to have you all join us this morning. My name is Chirayu Dongre. I'm a staff person. I go by he, him, his. I am an F1 advisor in the ISSS office. I am also the contact in the ISSS office for all LGBTQIA identifying students. A fun thing about myself is that I actually went to school to study film. I'm obviously not a filmmaker, but I always like to mention that because it's a way to illustrate how your college experience can lead you in all kinds of different and amazing and new unexpected directions. So there's that little nugget for you to file away somewhere. I'm going to pass it on to my co-advisor, Hussein.
Hi, my name is Hussein Bandi, and I use he, him, his pronouns. and I am another advisor at ISSS. So I work with both F and J visa holders. And then I also do some programming, like co-advising IBP with TriU. I also work with our discussion group program and help out in other areas around the office. And a fun fact about me is that I am an avid rock climber, and I like to do that often. It's a lot of fun. And there is a very good rock climbing gym on the university campus once the rec center opens up and things start to open up again. And next, I'll be introducing Luena, who is our student program coordinator for IBP. So take it away, Luena.
Thank you, Zane. Hi, my name is Luena Kang, she, her, hers. I'm a junior studying global studies and political science. And as Hussein mentioned, I'm a program coordinator for IBP, International Body Program. We, IBP team, fully understand how exciting and difficult the transition to a new environment, new country is. Especially under this COVID, it is hard to feel connected to campus. So we provide individual connection under the mentorship program. We pair up new international students and the current UMO students, either domestic or international, to help you guys, new international students, to be well adjusted. We have 4 amazing board members. 3 of them joined today as a panelist and are waiting to share their leadership experience. So stay tuned for that, and I'll pass the microphone to Sarah.
Thank you so much. Thank you for the passing the mic to me. My name is Sarah Krieger. I use she, her, hers pronouns, and I work in International Student and Scholar Services. And I work with sponsored students, so students who have some sort of funding or scholarship that they come to the university with. So shout out to any sponsored students out there. Hello. So when I was a student at the University of Minnesota, that's where I graduated from, I was involved in the Russian-speaking Student Association and the University of Minnesota Handball Club. And I point those two out because they're very different. And I think it points out how many student groups and ways to get involved there are at the University of Minnesota. So today, this morning, well, morning for us here in Minnesota, I'm really excited to moderate a panel. And today we're going to be asking our leaders, so you can see their names on the slide there. We're going to be asking our leaders, what are some tips on enhancing and gaining more leadership skills, and why is that important? You know, we all know that all the resources at the university is crucial for academic success, but we also know that leadership experiences play a significant role in college life, and also leadership, I mean, that's a big category. It can mean different things. So I'm going to start off with Michael. Can you introduce yourself and share how leadership style is different in the US compared to your country?
Thank you, Sarah, for the question. Hi, everyone. My name is Michael, and I'm a senior studying computer science and CSE. Well, CSE people, hi. So for your question, I found that the leadership style in China is quite different from that in the US. So Chinese leadership style is characterized by a senior member in control that gives instructions that are expected to be fully carried out by the team. On the contrary, the American leadership style is vastly divergent from that of China. When I was playing a leader's role in one of those student organizations in China, I tend to be more on top of my team and tell people what to do. However, I found my previous leadership style was not so popular here when I was leading a team as a global Gopher leader last summer. So I noticed that people here in the US want their voices to be heard and prefer asking for help when they need it instead of receiving direct instructions. So I had to adapt my leadership style quickly to better communicate with my team. And that is what I have been always trying to improve since I took the leadership through. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Michael, for sharing how you grew as a global Gopher leader, and also a really important message to all of us. You know, leaders can continue to grow and learn. So let's continue talking about student leadership with the International Buddy Program leaders. Pear, can you introduce yourself and share with us why it is important to practice your leadership and be involved in various leadership positions?
Thank you, Sarah. So hello, everyone. My name is Pear, and I use she, her, hers. I'm now a junior studying finance and accounting, and I'm joining as international buddy programs or IBP student leaders. And to answer those questions, I want to bring up one of my personal experience as a high school student. So back then, I'm a really shy student, and I did not involve in a lot of leadership position when I was in high school because I did not realize how important it is. And all I thought is just to get a good grade and to get into the good university. However, as I start my college life and also eventually my first internship, I realizing that there's a lot more than having a good GPA. You need to know how to work with people because there's a lot of group assignment and also team project that you need to do. And you need to know how to take action and how to listen to people because that will make you work well and also study well in college. So all of that is a component for leadership skill. So that is why it's really important to practice leadership skill. And here at UMN, there's a lot of leadership position being offered to students, which I think everyone should take advantage of that in order to find yourself, find what kind of leader you are, and which position fit your personality and working style the most. And one of my recommendation is that don't forget to challenge yourself. Like I said earlier, I used to be like a shy introvert one. And when I was in a freshman years, I did not involve in a lot of leadership position because I was too scared. So I don't want you guys to be like me. I want you guys to like put yourself out there, challenge yourself more, and be confident about your abilities because you will find that those experience will worth your fear. Thank you.
Thank you, Pear, for sharing your experiences with leadership and also with challenging yourself and getting out there and taking advantage of leadership opportunities. So Florence, can you tell us more about yourself and what kind of leadership and experiences and opportunities are there to challenge yourselves at the University of Minnesota?
Yes, definitely. So my name is Florence. I use she, her gender pronouns. I'm currently a senior. I'm studying sociology and global studies. I am a global Gopher leader and also a new IBP board member for the fall semester. So there are many leadership opportunities that you as an international student can take part in. So during my first semester here, I found out about the Community Engagement Learning Center through one of my classes that I was taking. I went there and they helped me find a organization outside of campus that is of my interest that I can volunteer in. So personally, I think that a volunteer position is a really good first step for you to gain outside experience to slowly build your leadership skills and your resume that you can later apply for in your internships or off-campus jobs. Other than that, I think a student organization is also a really good way for you to gain these leadership skills and also have a student community on campus. So for me, I wanted to find a Malaysian student community on campus. So I went on the website called Gopher Link and I searched for Malaysian Student Association. I emailed them asking whether there are any open volunteer positions or leadership positions. And yeah, after that, I became one of the internal vice presidents of the Malaysian Student Association of last year. So if you are looking for an on-campus job, well, within your F1 visa permits, it's really easy for an international student to find an on-campus job as well. So for me, my first ever job on campus was a cashier at a dining hall. So you might think, you know, a cashier, that's not really a leadership position. But actually, I had an opportunity to practice leadership skills while in this position. And one of the very important skills, I think, is having responsibilities and doing those responsibilities right. So, you know, as a cashier, you have to handle cash and all that. It's really scary, but, you know, through practice, I got it done well. Yeah. An easy way for you to find some on-campus jobs is to go to the website called Office of Human Resources. You can just type it in Google, employment.umn.edu, log in with your UMN email address, and you'll see a lot of job postings there. Other than that, getting involved with the International Buddy Program is also a really good way for you to gain leadership skills and be engaged with both domestic and international students. So my advice is go out and explore, reach out to your professors, staff members, your seniors and everything like that, and you can find all these amazing opportunities on campus.
Thank you, Florence. Yeah, the University of Minnesota has a ton of opportunities how you can get involved. So reach out to us if you want any guidance. Florence, you mentioned the International Buddy Program, or IBP as we call it, and I would like to invite Luana back to share with us how students can be involved in IBP, as well as sharing your own IBP leadership experience.
Thank you, Sarah. So I started my college year as an IBP buddy. I had a lovely mentor who's from Minnesota. And in my second year in college, I started my leadership position as a program coordinator at IBP. Now, junior, I'm going into my third year with IBP and the second year as a program coordinator. I've learned a lot of things and I grew up tremendously in IBP. But if someone asks me, what's one thing you've learned from your leadership journey with IBP? To that, I submit, leaders always should be grateful to their team. You, leader, are not the most important person in a team. As I mentioned, I'm a program coordinator at IBP, and I'm leading my lovely team. But you know what? There are not so many things I can do all by myself without my team. For example, am I good at numbers? Well, no. But we have Per, who is an amazing treasurer. In am I a very friendly person? Is it to talk to? Well, no. I know myself. I should admit I'm not a very friendly person, but we have amazingly friendly mentor and buddy communicator, Rebecca. Just like this, I'm borrowing my team members' abilities, and as a leader, I just coordinate and provide a space for my team where they can fully utilize their abilities and grow. Being a leader doesn't mean being the most important person in a team. That doesn't mean you can control a team. Again, you're borrowing your team members' ability for the communal goal, and I just coordinate. I mean, at least that's how I envision myself as a leader. And you can start doing this now. Look around, and when talking, meeting people, try to identify their special skills. Try to find their strength or something to complement. That way, when you become a leader, you will be able to catch your team members' unique strengths, skills, and most importantly, appreciate your team.
What a great suggestion. Thank you, Luana. It's always great to hear about the International Buddy Program, and we know the work you are doing this year to make the program an exciting one for fall 2020. If students want to be involved in IBP, what are some things they should know?
So the buddy application is open. Go find IBP in Gopher link or in the ISSS website and click the link to the application. There will be some questions to answer, from basic information to why you want to join IBP and other questions for the matching. Once you submit the application, our mentor and buddy communicator, Rebecca, will reach out to you with more details. 2 things to be aware of before you join the program. A, the program will be delivered completely online. So do not worry about where you are. And 2, your participation as a buddy is a deciding factor of the success of the program. We are looking for buddies who are enthusiastic about sharing their culture and learning others' cultures as well. So if you think that's you, please go ahead and submit the application.
Thank you very much, Luana. I hope most of you apply to IBP. Again, it's a really great opportunity. I've heard from many new students how important it was to find really good mentors their first semester. Mentoring is such an important skill to learn as a leader, and we are proud that all our leaders are excellent mentors. Would anyone else like to share with us a leadership experience and what you learned from it? Perhaps we could invite our next guest panelist, Margaret, who was the former program coordinator of IBP and alumna, to share.
Okay, hi. Hello, my name is Margaret Shen, and I use she, her, hers pronoun, and I'm a recent graduate from the Master's in Human Resource and Industrial Relations program, and I was the former program coordinator, so I was the one before Luana. And I was involved in many leadership opportunities when I was an undergrad, so including that experience as program coordinator. And the most meaningful one will be this experience with IBP, and when I was in my senior year. And it took an accumulated amount of experience, familiarizing yourself with the student group mechanism and also campus resources to take more and more responsibility on your shoulder. And the most important thing I learned from that experience was the connections I built. So like previously mentioned, it's a networking and also the long-lasting friendship you build throughout different experience that matters. And to be able to learn and grow with the program and to have the privilege to see how international students grow with us, it's such a privilege to witness that, and also to see event coordination go smoother and witness a mentee become a mentor and even become a board member is a really valuing experience for me, and also for the program's existence. And the lesson was to really push myself out of my comfort zone one step at a time, so no big rush. That's probably not gonna work, and we'll take it step by step, and especially within a safer environment provided by ISSS and its staff member. This process also helped me figure out my post-graduation decisions, such as choosing a grad program and to even selecting work opportunities that aligns with my future career projection. And probably leadership sounds scary and pretty vague to a lot of new incoming like international students. I just want to make sure you know that I was there. Just like you, I was a freshman, but it really was a process of self-exploration on my strength and weakness, and also how to work on both of them, and either to enhance your strengths or or work on your weakness, how to turn that around, at least to make you feel confident that you are able to perform different responsibilities. And above all, it was also about finding your area of passion and acting on that passion with your knowledge and skills, which you will naturally gain when you have more experience. And just give an example, I figure out my leadership emerges when I help others solve problems. So that's a skill I learned in the leadership experience, especially as a program coordinator. So because you have to adapt to different kind of unexpected situations, and you have to think on your feet like really quick, and which led me to my career choice, and also my interest into human behaviors under work settings, and how to act and to help people succeed in the workplace. So that's why I landed a job right now as a human resource journalist. So thank you.
Thank you, Margaret, for coming back to provide such insightful advice. We love it when alumni return to give back to the international community at the U of M. Talking about challenges in navigating solutions during student leadership positions, Soyun, can you introduce yourself and share with us what it was like being a leader of both domestic or US students and international students? Were there any conflicts, And if so, how did you overcome it?
Of course. Thank you, Sarah. Hi, everyone. My name is Hyun Bae. I use she, her pronouns, and I am the marketing communicator for the lovely and amazing IVP. I'm seeing like a lot of you have your cameras off, so if you're comfortable, I would appreciate it if you can turn it on. Or just think to yourself, like, are you concerned about being a leader because of your identity as an international student? Because for me personally, that was one of the factors that kind of made me hesitant to kind of put myself more out there, because I was scared, like, oh, what if people don't appreciate me as much, or I get discriminated because of my identities. But I'm also a CA, a community advisor at a residential hall on campus, and I'm also a director of communications for a dance group on campus. It's called Dance Collective, and we have over 150 members. And to be very honest, most of them are Americans. Like, they're very domestic students. And I am the first international student who became a director for that club. So personally, I was really scared to even go on to the election, because what if they don't really appreciate me? What if they think like I don't know enough about their culture or about the American college life or their dance culture, which is also really different. So they wouldn't really appreciate me of being their leader. But when I did talk to several of my friends in the club, they actually really wanted me to become one of the directors, because they wanted to show more diversity within the leadership positions. Like, there were a growing number of international students coming into the club. Seeing a person who shares one of their identities is very important. So personally, is my mic having an issue? Can everyone hear me?
There is a little static coming through, and it could be that some participants might have not muted their mic as well. So I think now, try it again.
Okay, maybe it's like my air conditioner.
Yeah.
And I can turn it off.
Well, Sarah, why don't we go to the next question, or if there is more comments. And
Sure, yeah. So thank you, Soyeon. Yeah, so I think that's a good example of things that could happen on Zoom. You never know where a sound is going to come from. So I think a good lesson too is just like, we all have something happen, and it's okay. It totally is. So if you're in a class and something happens, everyone understands. So Jenny, could you go to the next slide? Thank you. So thank you all for your advice, and it was just a really great conversation to have. I hope all of our new Gophers here become exceptional leaders at the University of Minnesota. We look forward to all of the amazing things that you will achieve throughout your journey with us. And if you have not registered for the International Buddy Program, please do so by today. Getting involved early is always one of the best pieces of advice that we can give. So I'm going to pass the mic back to Kabir for a break.
all right, thank you, Sarah. Really appreciate all of the student leaders and alumni taking time to be here and give advice. All of them, I know, were really nervous at the beginning, and it's always a point of pride for us to see leaders develop and grow, and that we can be part of your journey. So as you are entering the University of Minnesota, just think about that you have a whole community who is here to support you. Part of being an international community is that there is an essence, there is an ethic about what you receive, you give back to incoming students. So as you can tell, we have a really strong tradition of service and connection and support. So hope you will be part of this tradition as well. So a couple of things as we enter a break. please feel free to switch on your camera. It just helps us to kind of get to know you, but there is no pressure. If you don't feel comfortable, we totally understand, as this is a new technology, and you may be in a situation where you can't switch on your camera either. So feel free to not have it on, but we really hope that when you're in your student groups that you're able to do that. So before we take a break, as you know, on Zoom, there is a lot of fatigue that happens. So we are gonna be taking about a 4-minute break. And once there is a cute video of Goldie Gopher, who is our mascot. And as you know, a mascot is a symbol that brings a community together. And it's often, all of the US universities often have a mascot. And ours is Goldie Gopher. And he's gonna show the city, parts of the city, parts of campus. Hope you enjoy it. When the music stops, come back. But please take a stretch break, get something to drink. You will hear the music, and then when it stops, we'll see you back here. So, all right. Okay, so I know there were really great conversations. So I'm gonna call out some group breakout session leaders to let us know what came up in the conversation that would be really good to share. So I'm gonna call upon Luena. Were there any questions, any insights that came up that would be good to share for the whole benefit?
We had amazing conversation. Something that came up that I want to mention, that I want to talk about with the whole group is the leadership type. So one of your student, like Kelly, she mentioned she's introverted, she's shy, she's but I mentioned that I'm also an introvert. I'm not very extroverted. I'm also shy, but I'm still a leader. So everyone has different types of leaders, and everyone can be a leader at UMM. That's one thing I wanted to mention in a big group. And Giovanna asked me a really good question. So the question was, will the student clubs and organizations be running even though the classes go online? So the student organizations and clubs, they're running. There might be some clubs that did not register to run for the spring semester, but still, I mean, IBP is running, so you guys can apply. and yeah, other clubs and student organizations are having online events, and there are SUA, a virtual welcoming event. So yeah.
All right. Well, thank you. And there was an earlier question. I thought that I would throw it out. There's a student asked whether or not that they could be involved in IBP and the Culture Core program. So Luena, what do you think about students getting involved in 2 groups or 2 leadership opportunities? What advice would you have for them?
I think I know Marina already mentioned that you can join IBP and the Culture Corps program at the same time. And she also mentioned it's really about your commitment. So I would say if you can commit to both programs at the same time, that would not be a problem. And I believe, and I think IBP and Culture Corps program can benefit you in different ways. You can have different takeaways from different programs. So I would highly encourage you to join IBP and Culture Corps program as well.
All right, well, thank you. So now on to Michael. Did a question or insight come up in your breakout session that would benefit the entire audience to hear about?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Kabir. So we had a very engaging and interesting conversation. So one of the questions that the student have is that how do you start with your first leadership experience at U? So my suggestion is that you take the first step to start with a small or simple employment at school. Either is like student security guard or student worker at dining hall will also help you to kind of connect with more people and know more opportunities in the future. So my answer to that question is definitely to get any opportunities that you can have access, and also start with a small, simple one. You don't necessarily have to start with a student actual leader at the beginning, because you may have not be accepted. But if you are applying for a student worker at dining hall, you will definitely get accepted, and you will start with a small, simplest job and on campus, and you will build up your leadership skills from time to time. So also, I'd like to answer a question that I haven't got any time to answer fully during the breakout room session, because the time is over. The question is from Pen. So he asked me if I can put my floor maintenance experience on my resume. Oh yeah, Jack. Yeah, his name is also Jack. So my answer is that every experience counts, because your experience is your personal development process, and those process will help you in the long run for many reasons. You may not have noticed that your experience is actually helpful in many ways in your future, either career or leadership development. So I would definitely say that you can put floor maintenance on your resume as your leadership experience. Thank you.
All right. Well, thank you, Michael, for that insight. And yeah, I think it's good to think about, as you're starting the school year, to think about opportunities that that match your ability, match your time. And so making these small steps will help you kind of build on your experience as well. So on that note, Chirayu, I'm wondering if there was any insights that came up in your breakout session that would benefit everyone to hear.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, thanks, Kabir. We had a good conversation in the group. I think some of the points that have already been raised did come up as well. I think, I'll take a little bit of a different tack here. We talked about getting involved on this semester, whether it's on campus. The individuals in my group were going to be doing online courses from their home countries. So really their questions were about how to be as involved as possible while taking courses online, yet also balancing their academic schedules and their personal life schedules, and also factoring in the time difference, the time zone difference that they have to contend with, because they're taking classes all from home. So they would like to get involved in leadership opportunities, but their question was more about tips on how to, it's basically a time management question, how to organize your time around all these different challenges so that you can effectively participate. And I have my ideas, but I thought we have some really great student panelists and students who have been doing this really for a long time and have been doing it in an online and remote format since March. And I'd really like to throw it out to students and to get their input and their expertise on this.
All right, thank you. Any additions from student leaders? Any thoughts? I know there is quite a bit of chat activity. I'm going to put Marina on the spot. Any last thoughts around leadership opportunities and
Sure.
participation?
Just like everybody said, I would highly recommend just breaking things down into smaller steps, right? So if you feel like I don't have the experience to be an orientation leader, but I know in their job description, they're looking for students with really good public speaking skills, event organizing. So it's easier to then try to enhance those skills and put those skills into practice. So if you're doing volunteer positions in your home country, or even if they're a virtual volunteer, those do count for leadership development. It's just a matter of how do you talk about it in a US context. And trust me, a lot of US students are really good at talking about their high school experiences and their undergrad experiences. And we're hoping that we can do the same for all of you. But I would say any experience counts. Think about all the activities you've done in your high school. Those will count as well. In terms of being connected, I can't emphasize the IBP program enough, not only because they're here today and they're present and they can see me saying this, but it is a great way to get connected with current students so that they can also help you navigate what's available at the university. The university is huge. And so there's going to be so many opportunities that even us as staff members are not aware of. So the more people you get connected to, those opportunities do open up for all of you as well.
All right. Well, thank you, Marina. Marina, I know that we have a little bit of homework for students.
Yes. So if I could have the next slide. So my favorite part, just kidding. You're going to start school in a few weeks. You will have homework. And part of that homework that we're giving you, this is obviously not graded. It will not affect your GPA. I highly encourage you all to complete this, but if you have any questions about the assignment, I want you to feel comfortable to ask us about it, because when school starts and you have homework assigned, we want you to be comfortable asking questions to your teaching assistants or your professors. So the homework, again, completely unassigned, but hopefully you can do this, is to write a letter for your future self on the dreams and the things you hope to achieve in your first semester at the University of Minnesota. And then either myself or our student leaders are going to reach out to you when the semester starts. And then we will be sharing those letters back to you and see and ask you, how are you doing? Have you been achieving everything you wanted to? And is everything going well for you? I'm hoping that your experiences are going to be great. I believe in you. I know you're going to be awesome. So I look forward to reconnecting with all of you individually when the semester starts. Make sure you send those letters to us to isuccess@umn.edu. And I already noticed 2 people have sent in their letters already. So good job.
All right. Well, thank you, Marina. And this is a really great exercise for all students to do, just to think about envisioning your future. And we really look forward to hearing from you. All right, Marina, you're gonna.
Yes. I also work with the Global Gopher influencers, Stacy, Hadi, and Love, who have been creating content for all of you on our Instagram account. So make sure you follow us by tagging us at ISSS-UMN on IG, and then you can use the hashtags Global Gophers and hashtag UMN Proud for a feature. Our Global Gopher influencers have created content specifically for all of you, so I hope you're enjoying and that you engage with us on our social media platforms. And then I'm gonna pass it on to, I believe, Ray.
Yeah, so thank you for coming to GD session 2. I see many familiar faces and names. I'm glad you make it. For next event, we'll talk about how to use UMN resources. We all know that academics are the priority for students. There are many helpful resources during your college life. In the meantime, you will meet different academic resources, and leaders will share their experience of using these resources. If you want to achieve academic success in the UMN, please stay with us in the next event. And I will hand the mic to Anthony.
Oh, I think Anthony is having trouble. Yeah. Oh,
Yeah, thank you, Ray. Happy to see everyone and how excited everyone is this morning, Minnesota time that is. As Ray has mentioned about the next event on the 19th, there's another event on the Thursday, that is the 20th, of how to be a successful graduate professional degree student using University of Minnesota Resources panel with current academic resources and graduate students. Which will be providing you with tips on how to best use these resources during the fall semester. So just so to be clear, this is an event for graduate students and hopefully to see good graduate students on the 20th. So thank you for that. And I'd like to pass back to Kabir.
All right. Well, thank you, Ray and Anthony. So looking forward to seeing all of you. And please take the time to attend the next session. And hope you have a wonderful day. Feel free to reach out to us. As always, we are here for you. ISSS is virtually your home away from home. So looking forward to seeing all of you. Thank you again and have a great day.